from that team in Athens that with a win against Notre Dame on the road and then the statement against Mississippi State, not just winning convincingly and now setting themselves up with a date against Tennessee, where I think the SEC Eastern Division seems to be Georgia's. Obviously, they've got the tough games in front of them, but your thoughts about the East right now?
Yeah, it's Georgia and everybody else, and we'll sort out some pieces this weekend. If you've seen what's happening in Tennessee with Butch Jones. If they get blown off the map, they get blown out of Neyland Stadium on Saturday. Does Butch Jones even make it to next week? Florida is, congratulations to Kentucky. It's when you lose 30 straight years, you got to be real creative in finding ways to blow another one, and that one was one of the most creative. So kudos to Kentucky on how to blow that game. I'm with you. We'll see how this thing shakes out, but certainly Georgia right now looks like the class of the East. I think Georgia's a good football team. I'm hesitant on all this talk about them being a playoff team and a top 10 team. But at the end of the day, I do think that's the team right now that cemented itself as the front runner far and away.
I think we're going to find out that Notre Dame is a very good team, but not an elite team, nothing close to that. They're an 8-4 type of team. They're a fringe top 25 team, and Georgia had all sorts of issues trying to score, move the football. They eked out a win at South Bend. Hey, and that credit to them. They beat a good football team on the road, but that was not an impressive showing. And then, of course, against Mississippi State, maybe we're overrating the Bulldogs based on the one effort against LSU. We'll see what the Bulldogs have the rest of the season. Right now, most of the teams that we're trying to evaluate, we've got the one big game to go on, maybe two. So we will see how that plays out. Georgia, Tennessee this week. It looks like it's all Bulldogs in Tennessee. Wow. They go up against one of the worst FBS teams on the slate that you can possibly schedule. Of course, they've got them at home. And I know that there's a letdown, whether you win at Florida, win in the Swamp, and that's a huge SEC win, and you're let down from that emotionally, or it's tough to get back off the mat because you just suffered one of the worst losses you can imagine. Either way, you're going to have a letdown against a UMass, but at the same time, any decent SEC team bounces back from maybe getting out of the gate sluggish, and they win by 4 or 5 touchdowns against a UMass team. The team that I'm going to bring up is an obvious discussion point, but Alabama going to Vandy, and Vandy, not a great team, but they'll probably be bowl eligible. They're a solid team. They're a 6-6 type of team, and nobody else is going to roll Vandy 59-0. I would be shocked if anybody comes close to that score. And if you look at the box score, Alabama just threw them around like they were paperweights. Paper thin, just blew through them. 700 yards of total offense to practically nothing, less than 100, 38-3 in the first downs. When Alabama wants to make a statement, this is what we get.
Yeah, lesson to Vanderbilt. Don't go on national television and say, Alabama, you're next. There's a different level when you beat Kansas State. You step up a weight class when you play Alabama, and maybe not the best idea to catch Alabama's attention in that kind of manner, especially given that Mississippi was on deck and the problems even in Mississippi State right now in the place that they're at. You got to think Alabama was focused on that game and the Alabama linebacker, I believe, telling Alabama they're next. It's not going to go down in history as one of the smarter things that got said in college football.